Hi, I'm Shane with the Drum Center of Portsmouth in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and we are here with a very special guest today, Mr. Mike Mangini.
Hello, hi Shane.
I'm so happy that you're here. We're here celebrating the 75th anniversary of Pearl Drums, so we want to say happy anniversary to Pearl. That's a big one, 75. How long have you been with Pearl?
Since 1999, when I walked in the Pearl booth, the last place I stopped at NAMM, you go around and you hit all the drums, and I did it all day long. And I go in the Pearl booth and got snuck in the side, and I hit this 18-inch floor tom, and I had such a smile on my face. One of the reps saw me, gave me one of those, and then the rest is history. And it turns out that drum, which was a birch drum, I was enamored. I was just like, wow. So that leads to a lot of discussion on how great the drums are.
Was that your first kit? Was birch?
It wasn't. That was the first custom kit, was the birch. Right. I got kits to go with Steve Vai. And I got a maple kit to work on the tour, and then I had the mahogany, which was more of the studio. They did the spectrum, but then I eventually got the birch.
If you had to pick one, which one?
The birch.
Yeah.
Well, how do you do it? I mean, it's like the mahogany has the warmth, studio thing. Maple it projects like crazy, but the birch is medium in every single surface.
Birch I think birch just works good in every room.
It works in absolutely every room. And incidentally, my very first studio gig, the real one, which was with Annihilator, that one, I showed up in Vancouver, and it was a Pearl kit, and I was not with Pearl at the time because I was playing rototoms my whole life.
Yeah, I remember that picture, the rototom.
Because I'm not all that tall, so. I didn't want those big tom-toms like up in my face and doing this thing. Get out of here. So I had the rotos all around. Anyway, I showed up to Vancouver, and it was a Pearl birch kit. Yeah. And I was like, that was one of the best sounding records that I'm on to this day. Yeah. To this day. So.
One of the questions that most people have for most artists is, why do you play this brand or whatnot? But when I look at your setup, I can't see how you could play any other brand. Because I don't know of another brand that could accommodate your setup. I mean,
that is the key, is the word accommodate. My setup is so different and so strange that everything you can't just put it there. You have to have the right piece. But I wanted a 6-inch drum, and Pearl went to the length of getting a marching band, one head 6-inch drum, and converting it for me. So they accommodated that. Yeah. And eventually, I mean, I don't know, we'll sit here and talk for 7 hours, but it led to like the gong, floor toms I'm using now, everything. Yeah. Accommodate.
Yeah. I suppose this is now as good of time as any to talk about the fact that one of those kits is actually here right now. And we have it on display down in the snare room. So if you walk into the shop, you can walk in and see this incredibly lush monstrosity.
And I built it myself.
And he built it himself.
With McGee and Billy and James from the store.
They've made 2 trips up so far. Got pretty crafty and helped put the whole thing together. And I just watched and sneered.
And ate.
And ate sandwiches. The day you left, as soon as you pulled out of that driveway, I'm like, all right, well, I got to sit down and I got to play these. And I could not believe how easy it was to get around.
You get there and it looks intimidating in the whole bit, but once you sit, it's just, it just does this, it flows out. And
I want to know, because this kit has a blended,
Yes.
this has like the Neapolitan, right?
There's no other drum set like this one because it is a combination of all three woods. First of all, it's 8-ply. 8-ply, it's my only 8-ply kit. And the maple, the 2 plies of maple touch the drum head. And so that wood is, that's what gives you the projection, and it really has a transient crack. The inner layer is the birch, because it's got almost a built-in reverb to it in the high end. Yep. 4 plies of it are in the inside. And then the outside is a nice warm blanket of mahogany. And when you hit the drum, there's no overtone in it. That's the brilliance of that particular combination.
This kit, tell me, how many tours did this go on? Did you use this on any of the albums?
Yeah, I used it on self-titled. Yeah. This was the B rig, excuse me. That means that we had a main rig that did most of the shows. This one got trucked up to Moscow while we were in these 3 places, and then after Moscow, it went down to Israel, and then we went to 7 or 8 more places, and then that kit, because it took a long time to get. So the gray kit, Galaxy Gray, modeled after, remember, you know how there are trends with cars and paints, like now there's this like milky gray look that's, yep. I'm just like what, did somebody forget to put the finish on it? But like, oh, it's kind of cool looking. Anyway, when the metallics first came out, I was just like, wow, those are so cool looking. But the gray, the deep gray, that's what I want in the drums, and that's what's on those. And it's the actual car paint.
Oh, okay, so they got it right from the cut. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Pearl does not mess around. Wow.
I wanted to go over quickly the miking setup that I went for with this Monster 18 acoustic drum kit. We actually didn't even use the electronic portion of this kit for the video. You know, I don't have enough mics to do 18 pieces, so I had to come up with somewhat of a minimal miking situation, which is funny considering the kit that we have in front of us. So I ended up using what I typically use for room mics for the overheads, because those are omnidirectional. They kind of pick up more of what's around them instead of just what's right in front of them. You know, I had to mic each one of the kick drums individually. I mean, I know he's gonna play a bunch of notes on them, so you have to be able to hear all that. For the 18-inch bass drum, I used a Shure Beta 52. For both of the primary 22-inch kick drums, I used Audix D6s, which are my go-to for inside kick drum mics. For the 26, I went for a more old school approach with a Shure KSM32 on the outside, and that has a very, well, I don't want to say who I'm thinking of, but old school, open, boomy bass drum sound. I did sneak a snare drum mic in there as well, just to add some extra clarity, which is a Earthworks DM20. My room mics for this were the SR25s from Earthworks as well. Typically what I use for overheads, but putting them in the room kind of gave us a really, really nice picture of the drum set in the room and not adding too much extra echo or reverb or room sound. And then last, I ended up putting a Shure KSM32 in the middle, right dead center between the two kick drums, and that added a little bit more punch to the overall drum sound. It's important to note that mic is actually a very happy Shure microphone endorsee. This is just the microphones that I use, and I was very happy with the way they came out. I mean, it's insane to think that we were able to capture this type of drum set with very minimal miking considering the size of it.
So by the way, Mike has some lessons available. So tell him more about this.
After being asked to teach for the first time, when people started to come to me in the music complex in Cambridge, Mass, they would come to me and I didn't understand why I could do some of the things or how I worked, and then I got into cognitive science. That birthed rhythm knowledge, because what rhythm knowledge is a set of root systems that if you learn the root systems, you can play anything, or anything that you want to play is an extension of one of these root systems. For example, on my Vimeo page, I have the clockwise, counterclockwise limb system and not quite double rhythm. The rhythm is about pattern recognition. And so if you learn these two systems, the clockwise gets all of your limb combinations. What is it that you can't do with it? You got to hit it with a limb, right? Mm-hmm. And it has to be a rhythm. I have an all-around technique page. It's body, hands, and feet for like, I don't know, the price of a few roast beef sandwiches, for crying out loud. I mean,
we have good roast beef sandwiches.
It's the best I ever had, actually.
Yeah, very good.
That's why I said that.
Yeah.
I guess I want another one.
How long has it taken you to set up this lesson program?
Well, it's been years in the making, but it took several months for me to learn how to get all the stuff right. Like, you know, if people are viewing this, you might not see how much stuff is in this room, and how many times did you have to change the lighting until it was right? So I had to get through all of those obstacles. Now I've got it so broadcast. It's, you know, it's crazy for somebody in, you know, wherever it is, the Ukraine, just can pipe right into my studio and get the camera. It's like you're right on my, sitting with me, for crying out loud. No plane flights, no.
It's a little close.
I mean, if I could have done that with people I wanted to learn from,
yeah,
I would have become a lot better a lot sooner, because I made mistakes. I didn't know who to go to. I had to figure it out.
I mean, I couldn't imagine being young, getting started, and then having the ability to take lessons from you on your website. It's crazy.
Yeah, I have young kids, and that's the thing
My
about
God.
about.
I hope they appreciate that.
I mean,
I hope they do.
I know. They do. They're freaked out at first. It's like
Yeah.
I would be too, I guess.
I guess so.
But the kids, like, just like, especially on Zoom, they'll come on first and like.
Yeah.
And like, okay, and I'm like but right away,
Yeah.
just normal, just like, okay, so what do you got, blah, 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 do you have your thing plugged in? Go, can I see your hand?
Where can these people go to sign up for these lessons?
MikeMangini.com, look it up,
There we
but that has links to Vimeo. You can just, everything's my name. I feel uncomfortable saying my name in the third person. It's like, it's weird. But anyway, it's like Vimeo, my name, Facebook, my name, it's everything.
So if you're resourceful, you can find it. Well, we're commemorating the anniversary of Pearl Drums and also your music school, and now we have this drum set here on display, and we have the ability for you to have your photo taken at the drum set. We're just charging a $10 fee if you want to have your photo, and all the money goes to Music Cares. Sincerely, thank you to Pearl Drums for helping facilitate all this and getting these drums here. And again, happy anniversary. Thank you so much for being a part of this. And thank you for doing, this is just such a cool thing to, how exciting is this, right?
Very exciting. No, how exciting is it? We'll just sit there and go.
Well, it's exciting to me.
Yes, yeah.
It's exciting to me, and I'm happy to have you here. Also, check out Mike's website, sign up for the lessons, and as always, thank you for the support.